the upside down.
Okay,
It's
so
the upside down apple tart
ooh,
with, it's
like
like
it.
caramelized apple that you eat with a scoop of vanilla. That's very
Uh-huh.
good. So I'm baking that right now.
Is there
So
a special pan you use for that? I don't know if that I've
no,
ever done that.
actually no. I made the dough, like how do you call it?
I'm sorry, excuse me. I know we're on the air. This is Corvo, so it might be. What's up?
I This is fun for people watching us.
Say it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Okay. Bye. Okay. Bye. That's one of those things where you have to pick up because it's your kid, but turns out you didn't have to pick up. but I like that she does still tell me if she's going to be gone for a while and when she's coming back and all that stuff. That's
She's
really
19.
really assuring that she's in the habit of doing that. I don't think it's something that I ever insisted on. It's just something that that's just the way she is. So I like
She's
that.
a good girl.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Although there is no such thing as good.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Corvo and her friend Sophia last night they got out my instruments and they were trying to form a punk band, doing some punk rock stuff. So that was a lot of fun. So Corvo, I think I told you that for Christmas I gave Corvo a year of guitar lessons because she's been interested in guitar. And Sophia had never picked up the bass before, but she did a really good job for never having picked it up. She was able to figure out where to put her fingers and how to move to play a part in a punk band.
So did she accept the gift? Because it worked for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
she's been asking.
yeah, she's been asking, and for the past couple of weeks, I've been saying, okay, well, let's sit down and have it. So we're just going to make it formal. I was tempted to say, well, no, you got to pay for it like everybody else. But then I thought, this is a great opportunity that I might not have.
Yeah, and it's a bonding time too.
Yeah,
and she wants it. She wants what you have to give. So I think that's fun. That's nice.
So it's really, and I told her that there is something about her ability wise or work ethic wise or something where she picks up things quite a bit quicker than a lot of students I work with. So
she's smart. She's a smart one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and if they want to do a punk band, it's like if you're 20 and if you want to form a punk band, that's the perfect time to do it.
So she will be the guitarist in her punk band.
Yeah, that's what they were thinking. So she'd be the guitarist and her friend would be the bass player, and then they need a drummer, and then they all can sing, and that's all you need unless you want a second guitarist. So you just need 3 or 4 people, and they already, both of them. But you've seen pictures of Corvo from like Instagram or whatever, and I've sent you some pictures of Corvo. So her friend is the same way. So they already look the part, like they could be in a punk band. They've got the look, right?
She's got the look for sure. She's beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not sure where I was headed on that or how I got down that.
I was talking about my menu when.
Yeah. So the question I had to go back to that was in that. So it's like an apple upside down.
It's an upside down apple. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm making the caramel myself, and I made the dough myself. What? And so you put on the oven, like not on the stove top, like you put your baking thing, the round
the pan.
The pan.
Yeah.
Then you mix butter and oil and sugar to make the caramel. And then
so you make that in the pan.
In the pan on the stove.
Okay.
And then you put the apple inside.
Okay.
And then you put the dough on top.
Oh, wow.
And you let it fall into it. And then you put it in the oven for like an hour at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius, like 400 something. And then when you serve it, you turn it upside down.
So it's very, very dramatic. And so it's a round pan? It's a round pan that you
It's a round pan, yeah.
That's
so,
and what kind of
Hmm?
apples do you use? Is there a specific variety of apple?
I just bought organic honey crisps.
Honeycrisp? Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm making salmon and then grilled veggies and rice and a tomato sauce with it.
How
And
are you doing the
I
salmon? How's the salmon?
I grill it. It's I put herbe de Provence, salt and pepper, and then a little balsamic, and then olive oil, and then lemon, and then I bake it like almost like a broil it in the oven. So it's very good.
Yeah, that sounds
Salmon is good. And then I'll probably make some mashed potatoes for my son who loves it. He doesn't like rice that much. So
okay. So you're
dinner,
just
and I have appetizers and stuff.
cooking up a storm today, which is amazing.
It's honestly, it's very quick. I mean, it's a lot of little steps, but it's nothing. I don't like making things that are like super complicated. It's always like super quick. It might be several steps, but it's not like super elaborate where you have to return and look, and it's
So what would qualify for you as something that's super complicated?
I don't like recipes where you have like 100 steps.
Okay.
I would say that, like, I have these amazing, I'll bring it because it's a wonderful French cooking book that I use often, if I find it. Here.
I guess I should feel
when we moved here, it was difficult for me to like cook the rest the dishes without knowing what our cup is, or sometimes I have some recipes, I don't know what I could replace this with that. And I found this book.
So is this effortless?
Effortless French Cookbook.
Okay.
And it's written by a French journalist that I know. And she lived like 7 years in LA, and she decided to write it, just the French basics. And then with the right ingredients, what you could replace this with that. And so I just love her. I just love the book. And it's a beautiful book. It tells all the first part talks about what cooking is in France. The French cooking class, chapter 1, donc she introduced it, and she explains how where food is everything, the French make it look so easy, and flavors from home and abroad, and the art of the cheese plate. And so it's not a French meal without wine.
Right.
And so it's just a beautiful book. Even before going to the recipes, you have a whole education literature on the French techniques and way of eating. And so it's beautiful. So I did send it to several people as a gift, actually, this book.
So when you grew up and you started cooking, you were like, I'm assuming all the cookbooks you worked with, the recipes were in metric measurements, right?
In metric. And you know what? I am someone who doesn't use recipes a lot. I do a lot of things just
intuitive.
Like when you play music by ear, I can say I'm like, how do I want it to finish? And then so I just put things together. I guess because I've always seen people cooking. I grew up with, we had somebody who would cook. We had a cook, which is not fancy, but I was living in Senegal. And so we had a cook, and my mom would cook on Sundays. And so I would look at her cooking. So I know how to cook. I don't need a recipe. But for some things, I like to have new things from here. I will use a recipe. Like when when I do the not the pancakes, but the
waffles.
Waffles, exactly.
Okay,
I always
waffles.
use a recipe. Yes. But to do, my other things, like when I'm cooking salmon, I don't use a recipe. When I'm doing my, sauces, I don't use a recipe.
Yeah.
When I'm doing cooking chicken, fish, I just do, I look at even curry. I'm like, okay, how do I want it? Do I want curry in it? No. Do I want this or no?
Yeah. 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 I think that if you have that intuitive sense,
I do.
it's possible with most things, except for I get the impression, I don't do a lot of baking, but I get the
Oh.
impression that baking is very
Precise. Yes.
Yeah.
I use recipes for baking. I say that I'm not a baker, but I can bake, I can do complicated things. I know how to follow a recipe. That's not my favorite, but yeah. Anyway, if you want to cook French, I really recommend this
So
one.
Effortless French Cookbook.
And it's just the basic dishes, it's nothing complicated. It's like you have the omelets, you have the gratins, you have the, like a salad, like the carrot salad, or the tarts. We do a lot of tarts, and yeah, so it's very easy, and it's just perfect. So yeah, effortless French cooking for everyone if you want it.
So is there a time? Steve Hardison's watching us right now, and he said,
so Steve, this is a wonderful gift, maybe for Amy.
Yeah,
French, yeah.
Yeah, he says, let's eat.
French cooking.
Yeah, it's I was just wondering if there was a time. I know for me that there came a time a couple of years ago where I stopped being all that fascinated with cooking, whereas I was before, and I used to read cookbooks all the time, read recipes all the time, and get ambitious projects where, okay, I'm going to cook this, and now I don't. Maybe a couple times a year around the holidays, so Thanksgiving and Christmas, I did some, but
yeah,
I don't know if is there ever a time when you think you'll be kind of detached from that and not.
I had my moments, because cooking for me, like I grew up, and when I had my kids, for me, it's like, to be a good mom, you need to cook for your children, so I kind of linked the two. So cooking was like, it went from being a pleasure to being a chore, like, but I would cook 3 meals a day, I'll do the breakfast, I'll do the lunch, and I'll do the dinner. Especially here in the States, because my kids were, when we moved, they were just 4 and 2, they could eat anything. And then in the States, I didn't work corporate, so I was home most of the time, and so I was cooking. So it was a burden, and I felt like I needed to cook those, very healthy food, everything from scratch.
Oh, so there was some pressure to, like, the quality of the food had to be
quality. Yeah, it has to be organic, and I have to cook it all. It has to be, those were my thing. But I had my breakdown, and I have to proudly say that my daughter has eaten Wendy's more than once now. And, that would be something that I wouldn't do before. I would be
so you turned a corner, and now it's like fast food. Well, yeah.
No, the fast food I give her is Wendy's. I won't still eat McDonald's, but but yeah, I don't mind. I'll buy store organic pizza, but pizza is pizza, whether it's organic or not. So, and sometimes I'll be like, okay, let's do Caesar, Little Caesar. It's $5 a pizza.
Yeah.
So I will do that now, but before I wouldn't do that. So it's not, I don't cook every day anymore. I will cook, like when I cook today, we'll probably be able to eat it for 2-3 days.
Yeah.
But I always have salads. I'll always make fresh guacamole, fresh salad. I'll always make my dressing. I have always eggs to do like a quick something. So I put together quick dinners, but I don't feel like cooking elaborately every day anymore.
Yeah. Or with that schedule, if you're doing 3 a day, for a whole family, that's a lot.
It was a lot. I even didn't see that it was draining on me. No, not surprising that I was like a mess later. And then my body said no. It's very like a combination of all of it.
Yeah.
just the pressure, actually, I put on myself. Nobody put it on me. It's me thinking that those were the expectations of society, right?
Yeah, society, and then your image of, to be a good mom, that's what I have to do.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And
that's really interesting.
But you know what? When I decided that, actually, why do I have to do that? I don't care. Nobody's imposing it on me. I'm imposing it on myself. That was freedom.
Yeah, that's interesting. When I can't think of a specific example right now, but I know there have been many things where I felt obligated to do it, and then one day I thought, well, the only person who's obligating me to do this is me.
I guess,
what can I do different?
Yes,
can I drop this?
You could drop it. And there are two things, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, but you also want the best for your children. There is no parents out there who wants the worst for his children, right? Yeah. But sometimes your best is not to cook dinner and just order Little Caesars. Sometimes that is the best for them. Because
maybe because of the way you are interacting with them, and you're not,
because
there's less,
they feed off of your emotional state.
Yes.
And if you are feeding them wonderful food, but internally you're a mess, they will become a mess.
Right.
And so it's very important to know that your emotional state, especially, when you're pregnant, or even when you have little kids, they're sponges, emotionally. So they develop later anxiety and all of that. And we're going on my, my tangent, the things that I am working on and that I love talking about.
Well, it's not really a tangent. It's sort of, it's integrated, right?
It's integrated in me. It's everything that is ACEs, so like my big work on trauma, on adverse childhood experiences, the emotional state of the parents is a big part of it.
Yeah.
How your children turn out, not how they turn out necessarily, but how they relate to themselves and to others, their interpersonal relationships, because we are interpersonal people, we think I, me, when we are, the way we act is linked to somebody else, we are interconnected people.
Yeah.
And so our children are a certain way because of the way we are at home.
So this would be actually a topic for maybe tomorrow, if we can remember to start with it. But
you can't have me without having that.
Well, the post you put out on Facebook this morning about how your son came back and didn't like your hair before and now, and I was just thinking as I read that, maybe a lot of it has to do with the fact that you are having this. There's something about your attitude that's changing, and to a child, maybe the most important thing for them is to see that their parents are happy.
Yeah, but there is some truth in what you're saying. But remember, the day when I came home, I was extremely happy with my hair. I was like, when I did it, I was like, yeah, this is what I wanted. So when I came home, he was so shocked, so surprised. Mom, what did you do? I don't like it at all. And he was very, very vehement about it. And I was like, well, sorry for you, but I loved it. I truly loved it.
But maybe he warmed up to finally the idea that the mom is
maybe because he didn't like it, maybe unconsciously, because like I said, I go 80-90% of the time I like it, but there are some of the time where I'm like, and maybe that is linked to the way because Isaiah didn't like it, or I don't know. I'm talking about subconscious level, but what I did do, and we had that conversation one day, is that I stayed with it, and when you stay with the discomfort, usually it goes away. It goes away. Whether even, you can even compare it to when you're hungry. It doesn't, the feeling of hunger doesn't stay. So
it's like a wave.
Discomfort, but when you run away from it, when you try to stuff it, that's where you go into addiction. That's where you go into coping mechanism, where you go to, into a lot of negative things. So I'm happy. I love my hair. It's me. That's the thing. It's me. It's like me almost without hair. So this is you can have you know, it's like you can have more than me. This is like true me without anything falling, bangs or anything. So whether I like it or not, it's still me. So I better like it.
That's right.
I better like it. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's we'll cut this for today. Well, you can get back to your apple.
My apples. Yes.
Which I might make that someday soon.
Some dinner sometime. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Everybody have a fantastic.
You have a fantastic, and we'll see you tomorrow. Wow. 2 more days before next year, huh?
I know. Isn't that crazy? It's insane. All right. See you later. Okay. And there we go. Yes.